AI will never cure cancer. I mean, scientists may cure cancer one day using AI, but that's a big important difference. AI can sift through thousands of studies looking for patterns and possible research paths that a human scientist might not have ever considered. But AI cannot prove that one of those ideas actually works. AI can suggest an answer, it can't prove the answer is right. And that's the point of this video. AI has become one of the most powerful tools medical researchers have ever had, but it's still just a tool. Hi, I'm Rico, and this is Clicking with Confidence, where we try to make technology a little easier to understand, especially for those of us who didn't grow up with it. You know, we hear all kinds of claims that AI is going to cure cancer, discover new medicines, and help find treatments for diseases we still don't know how to cure. Now, a lot of politicians and tech companies even talk about AI as though it's some type of magic bullet. It's not. The reality is impressive enough without pretending AI can do things it simply cannot do. Artificial intelligence doesn't walk into a laboratory and start experimenting. It works with information created by people, scientific studies, medical research, test results, and a lot of other data and information. And this is where AI can be incredibly useful. A human researcher can only read and absorb so much information. AI can examine enormous amounts of research and look for connections between studies that may have been conducted years, if not decades apart. I mean, it might discover a pattern buried deep in decades of research or point scientists towards something they hadn't considered that came from a completely different field. That alone can save researchers an enormous amount of time. But there is a problem with it. Finding a possible connection is not the same thing as proving that the connection is correct. And not all information that AI works with is equally reliable. There's excellent scientific research, but there's also outdated, questionable, and sometimes simply bad information out there. AI may bring it all together, though. And then scientists still have to decide what deserves to be trusted. And most importantly, they have to test the ideas AI produces. If an AI system analyzes 10,000 research papers and says, this particular combination of treatments looks really promising, that's not a cure, that's a hypothesis. It's an idea worth testing, but scientists still have to prove that it works, and that it's safe, and that other researchers can replicate it and get similar results. A computer saying something looks promising is not enough. It has to work in the real world. And this is where peer review and independent testing comes in. Other experts examine the research, question the evidence, and try to determine whether the conclusions really hold up. I mean, even after research is published, other scientists may challenge it or try to reproduce it themselves to see if it's actually viable. And that process itself can be very slow, sometimes painfully slow. But science isn't supposed to be rushed, or it shouldn't depend on one person or one computer saying, trust me, this works. That's not how science works. And this is the part I find really exciting. AI may allow scientists to spend less time searching through what has already been done and more time actually doing new research. I mean, imagine a researcher beginning work on a particular type of cancer. So before starting, that researcher may need to understand decades of previous work. And that can mean an enormous amount of reading. AI can bring that information together much faster, helping the researcher avoid repeating old work and spot connections that they might otherwise miss. And I'll tell you, as the son of research scientists and doctors, my parents would have loved to have a tool like AI available to them to help them with this part of the job. AI hasn't discovered a cure, but it may have pointed scientists toward a road that they hadn't considered. And sometimes finding the right road is the hardest part. I think one of the most important things to understand about artificial intelligence is AI doesn't replace the scientific process. It can make that process faster by helping researchers understand, huge amounts of data and whatnot, and identify possibilities worth investigating. But the humans and the scientists still have to do the science themselves. They have to test those ideas and show that a treatment actually works and is safe. So will AI ever cure cancer? No. Scientists may cure cancer using AI, and I know that may sound like a small difference, but it gets to the heart of what artificial intelligence can and cannot do. AI can help point us towards an answer. Human beings still have to find out whether that answer is actually right and valid. And that's how we move forward in all fields. I'm Rico. This is Clicking with Confidence. Please like, subscribe, and share. And we appreciate you stopping by. I'll see you in the next video.